Okay, it is time for the Table for Five No Reservations podcast. The Table for Five focuses on all things autism, parenting, mental health, and everything in between. There are 5 special needs moms spanning across 2 countries and 4 different time zones who each have children on the autism spectrum. New episodes are released every Monday morning and can be found wherever you listen to podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Audible, etc. Take a seat at the table. We promise you will laugh and cry with us.
Hello and welcome to Table for Five with No Reservations. Take a seat at the table for a fresh, sweet, salty, tart, and pleasantly bitter conversation.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for taking a seat at our table or tables. We are so excited to be here. If you do not know, we are Table for Five No Reservations podcast. We are 5 ladies who all came together because we have kids on the autism spectrum, and we also bonded over many other things, including food, mostly food. But we are not a food podcast, even though it sounds like that. This is our first time doing a live in-person podcast, and our first time actually doing a podcast physically together at a non-metaphorical table. Yeah. It's real. We are so excited to be doing this here with you guys. We met because of Coop's Troop. And you all mean something to us. You've affected our lives in so many ways. And we love you all so much. And we're so glad to be doing this here for the first time with you guys. All right. I am Jamie Ramos. I am from Denver, Colorado. I am married to an amazing man named Isaac. I have 2 kids, my sweet yet grumpy 8-year-old Jessie, who's on the spectrum. And I have a spunky 4-year-old named Amelie. And with me at the table tonight, I have Rachel Flanagan.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rachel Flanagan. I live in Minnesota. My community is called Flanaville. Was freaking out. Listen, I feel like I'm the unofficial spokesperson of Coop's Troop, like an ambassador or something, because this group, this group changed my whole life. Tonight, you'll hear about it. My daughter, Celie, has autism, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, and bipolar. I'm an adoptive mom and a Billy Flanagan wife.
Hi, I'm Kim McIsaac. I am from Massachusetts. I am married to my best friend, who we've been together since I've been 16. We have 4 children. They're getting up there now. They're 18, 20. My daughter, Alyssa, is 27. She's nonverbal on the severe side of the spectrum. And I have a son who will be turning 30 in July. Oh, and I write about my daughter, Alyssa, on our page, Autism Adventures with Alyssa, on Facebook and Instagram.
Hello, everyone. I am Jen Dunn. I am from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So I'm the international one at the table. I have a 13-year-old daughter, Kaya Alexandra. If you ask her, she'll tell you. She is a teenager. I'm actually wearing her dress tonight. And I write about her on Keeping Up with Kaya on Facebook. So thanks for being here.
Hello, I am Tabitha Cabrera. I am currently living in Montana, moved from Arizona recently, back to Montana. I have 2 kiddos, Nixon and Nora. Nixon is 6 and Nora is 4, both autistic. And I write on Piece of Autism. What else? I mean,
she's an author.
Oh, yes, some children's books. They're in the baskets that will be given away if you want to check them out. And we're here. We're so glad to be here. This weekend has been great and fun. So we decided we're going to start out this evening with some question and answer section that we had some questions submitted to us, and we're just going to start from there. We're kind of going to take turns answering questions for you guys. So the first one is for Jamie from Renee. Was it the podcast what brought you together, or were you 5 besties before? Whose idea was it to start the podcast?
Twofold. So we met through Coops, and we became friends through Zooms and talking to each other really late at night. That's really where our friendship grew. And it took about a year, right? A year or so before we started the podcast. And it was just kind of something where we had been so lonely and isolated before. And it was almost to the point where we were forgetting what it was like a year before, where even though we met during the pandemic, we were isolated for reasons then, but we had been isolated before that for a lot of reasons. And so we were just chatting one night and we were like, it would be great if we could have everyone talk with us and feel less alone. And I had done some roundtables on my page before, which is called Jamie Ramos Writes. I forgot to say that. And I feel like I brought it up. I was like, let's do a podcast. Like, we don't have to be in front of a camera. We can just chat and feel open and free. And so that's what we did. And we've grown closer and we know a lot about each other now.
Yeah. So the second one is for Rachel Flanagan from Allison. What do your family and friends think of you doing a podcast and sharing so openly?
So the thing about being a Rachel is that it's pretty open.
Truth.
Yes. So my family's kind of used to this. Also, long before we podcasted, we were isolated from our family. So I know that Adrienne has talked about sort of setting the rhetoric and the dialogue around what was going on in their family. And I feel like I feel like I've been able to do that in lots of ways. In this one, it makes people super uncomfortable. And, I feel like they can get.
Yeah. All right. Next one's for Kimmy from Allison. Any negative responses from your family? Are there any topics you all agree will not be discussed on the podcast? Or do you all feel you need to be an open book?
So my family is super supportive. I mean, they put up with all these voices in my house all hours of the night.
That is very true. The McIsaacs
Yeah.
get tired of us sometimes, for sure.
No, my family's super supportive. I feel like we don't per se have anything that's off limits, but we obviously try to be respectful. We don't want to offend people. We try to keep it, clean-ish. For the most part, it is really important to all of us that we are real and authentic and open. One of the reasons behind doing this podcast is because there's so much, negativity around moms and, you have the right to feel sad. You have the right to be angry. You have the right to be frustrated. You have the right to want to put your kid on the curb, just like you do your typical kids, without being judged and without feeling guilty about it. So we think it's really important to talk about these things that sometimes are hard to talk about, but we get a lot of feedback of, there's a lot of moms out there still that don't have support. Like, I feel like we kind of forget that because we all have this group in Kate and each other, but there are still a lot of moms that, don't have that. So we do try to talk about it all.
And I do think that there are some things some of us have not felt comfortable talking with. And I think that we support each other through actually a lot of those things we end up talking about anyway on the podcast by just flushing it out while we're trying to plan. But there definitely have been some things that, as me specifically, I wasn't too stoked about talking about on the podcast. My most recent move, if you want to go listen to the grief episode, you'll learn all about that. All right. So the next one is for Jen. Yeah. She can't take it yet. All right. This one is from Gina. We know you all met through troops, but what was it that bonded the five of you so much other than our special needs kiddos?
Queso? Food? Really? It was food? Dieting? Keto? I mean, I think, and she's the most supportive, though, I have to tell you. But I think, we all came together through Kate and when we started this podcast, but, through that, we've bonded in a way, I think, that we're so grateful for, that not everyone has a chance to do with the five of us. So food and togetherness, that's about it.
Basing it.
Yeah.
Sort of basing everything off of being so real and so raw and just being supportive of one another. It's like reinforced our bond constantly the whole time. Okay.
All right. So this question is for Tabitha. This is from Chris. And it's a several part. How do you decide what you're going to cover or ask to be a guest? How do you determine which of you will start the podcast, announce everyone, and lead it? And what is next for the table for 5?
So we do planning. I would say, I don't know, every couple months we get together and
Not
plan.
enough.
What?
Not enough.
Not enough planning, some would say. Jamie's our calendar keeper. Keeper of the calendar, amongst other many
calendar.
well, many things she does for this podcast. So we plan our series and then we usually have an umbrella topic that we do. And then we pick things within that umbrella topic for the titles of our podcasts. And then what was the
Who will lead it? Like who will lead it?
oh yes.
Oh, a guest.
And guests. So we each lead at least one episode per series. We try and usually we pick what we want to do or what feels the most comfortable for us. And it's never in any specific order. And then guests, usually each one of us has brought in someone that we have a connection to or that we thought would be interesting to the podcast. So every single person here has brought someone. And usually if we bring someone to the podcast, that's the person that does the interview because it's just more comfortable for our guests. And then we've had people reach out to us. And then storytellers, we usually do by topic. So people submit those. Anyone in this room can be part of our storytellers anytime. We usually post on our Facebook page the topics, and you don't have to have a page. You don't have to. We love giving the opportunity to everyone to share a little bit of their story because we're only 5 parts of this whole wild life. So look out for that. Please submit storytellers to us. What's next?
I don't know. This is we haven't thought past this.
We
peaked.
yeah.
So
Mic drop. This is it.
We're
The
gonna
end of the show. We took 6 months to decide these outfits. So I don't know. I don't know what's next for us, but yeah. Yeah.
we do have our travel series coming out next.
Yes.
Which is what is
Yes.
immediately next for us. We're doing a series all about travel, and we have a really cool special needs travel agent on with us. So
Yeah. And we have talked global big picture stuff, and we do that probably once a year. We're like, what's coming up this year, what we would like to do, what are each individual goals. So that's always fun because each one of us has a different where we want to go. Yeah. Where are we going next? All right. Next is for Jamie from Andrea. How and when did you explain to your child they are autistic?
So my son is only 8 years old, and I don't think he understands what autism means, or we've never sat down and have a conversation about him with that. But we have a philosophy personally that's just, it's part of our life. He's in an autism program at school where the school is very open about it. It's in a public school, so the general population is typical, and they know that he's in the autism class, and they make sure to include him, which helps with the inclusion and learning about autism. And it's really cool to see, and I've learned a lot from it, that these kids are just growing up knowing what autism means, knowing that my son might not respond to them, knowing that my son might walk away mid-play. And that's just taught me, and our general philosophy is that he's autistic. He has autism, whatever the crap you want to say. And he knows it. We're going to grow up, and that's going to be the basis for him. And if one day he gets to the point where he can communicate to me that he doesn't want me to talk about it and tells me to shut up, I will shut up about it. But that's our philosophy.
All right. Rachel Flanagan. This is from Scarlett Frocks on Instagram.
Thanks, Scarlett.
Do you think your child knows they have autism? Cecily Flanagan.
My daughter definitely knows she has autism. Like Jane, we have a culture in our house where well, I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but she proudly says, "Mom, I think I'm going to let my freak flag fly today." She kind of walks like a DSM for autism. She's in a mermaid giddy up, or she looks like RuPaul. She just does her thing. She feels like her brain was made different, and she can solve problems that other people can't. She feels like her feet are fast like Flojo. We're teaching them to stop. And she feels like her heart, she feels like her heart was made to change the world. And that's all true. She knows. And she'll tell anybody. Often if she's uncomfortable in a situation, she'll say, "I'm going to tell them." And then she'll point, my brain works different. My feet are fast like Flojo, and I can change your day with a hug. And if she can't, then she points to me and I explain, because she's in kind of a brewing shitstorm. She does have fetal alcohol syndrome as well, and she thinks that means she should drink the beer. So we're working on it. Whatever.
All right. This one is for Kimmy from Teresa. what is the hardest thing about doing a podcast and what is the most rewarding?
So the hardest thing I feel like, oh,
Get in there, girl.
so one of the hardest thing I think is 3 different time zones. Like that can be very challenging. Just the commitment, the time commitment in general. We're 5, moms that have, multiple children between us, all special needs children. So, sometimes that can be hard. And we're 5 very strong, opinionated women. So,
I don't know
that's
about that.
that's not
No, not
always
me.
the easiest, but the most rewarding thing is I think when we get messages from our fans and they tell us how much of an impact we make on them, on our fans, our followers. We've had many people reach out to us and say that finally they feel heard, they feel that there's somebody else that understands, and that really motivates us to like keep going because Kate says if you even reach one person that you're making a difference in their lives, then that's worth it. So
Oh, wait. We're not doing this
Stand down.
microphone thing very well. Yeah. Yeah. This is for Jen. From Duffy. How has the podcast changed from the first few episodes to now? And do you have have we ever annoyed each other?
It caught us an hour ago. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I love you all so much. Nothing but the truth at the table.
We were all starving. It did not go well.
We were hungry and it was just time.
Bitches. Hungry bitch.
Then we ordered a little chipotle. My first time ever having it. I don't know how you even say it.
What's the
Chipotle.
question?
I don't even know it.
Don't
How
get us
has-
started about podcast.
How has the podcast changed? And do we get on each other's nerves?
Well, I answered part 2. So part 1, how has it changed? I think, and I joked about this, hair and makeup. Because when we first started, we were prepared. Our hair was done, makeup, it was still like the Zoom from the bottom down. It was questionable, but it was always, now I don't even wear a bra. I mean, it's like, it just, I usually, to be honest, if you see the white background, I'm in the bathroom. It's, the camera goes off because I'm flushing. I mean, that's what's changed. That is what's changed.
You notice she didn't say the sound.
Or the sound, yeah. That's what's changed.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. For Tabitha. This is from Andrea. I feel like I'm half-assing so many things while I'm trying to judge it all. How do you make peace with feelings like this only to have so much we whistle to edit certain people of the podcast? Just kidding. We've all had to be whistled. Lisa was just on.
So basically there's no solution to juggling it all. I think that we as moms to kiddos who have additional needs of any kind, we are always trying to find the elusive balance, which doesn't exist. And, if you're a working mom, if you're a stay-at-home mom, no matter what, there's never enough hours in the day to get any freaking thing done. So the main thing is if you're feeling that way, I feel like that's pretty normal. Good for you and for recognizing that you're overwhelmed and, struggling to get it all done because it really is impossible. I've had a huge shift in my life and pared back my career in order to try and make some of that balance. And I don't think that I had a choice. I had a choice in that, but I didn't have a choice in that. So life hands you things sometimes that you didn't expect, and you modify and shift in order to make it all work for you and what works best for you as a person. So yeah, basically it's hard as heck. I mean, that's what it is. This is for everybody. So we'll start with Jamie. What is the most powerful thing you have learned about yourself since your child's diagnosis? And what would you like to say to the caregivers sitting in this room? Any words of wisdom, advice, or encouragement you'd like to give them?
I feel like I'm on like Miss America or something. What I've learned about myself since diagnosis.
Yeah.
So probably the biggest thing I've learned about myself is that I need people. I grew up 5 of 6, and I grew up with a learning disability myself. I'm dyslexic. I never felt smart enough or important enough to be anywhere or be anything. And as part of that, I've always been shy. I have resting bitch face like no other. So when we got the diagnosis, I even remember saying like, okay, this is just going to be part of our lives. We're going to conquer this. And of course, like they were encouraging us, like find parent groups, find this and that. And I was like, we don't need that. I don't need to be that mom that's advocating all the time. That's making, I don't need stickers all over my cars of puzzle pieces. And it ate me alive being alone all the time. And that's, I found Kate before that. And I even remember when my son we weren't sure, and watching her video of her crying in her car and thinking like, that poor lady, like I feel so bad for her. And cut to 2 years later, I understood her so well because, it was never going to be okay, because it never was going to be what I imagined or what I wanted for my child. Sorry, I'm the crier. And when I met these ladies, I took a chance and hopped on a Zoom one time, and I met most of these ladies, and it changed my life. It changed my life to talk to other people and not have to explain my existence, my child's existence, to feel like I belonged, and to feel like other moms, because other moms get to joke. They get to joke about tantrums. They get to joke about being late. They get a joke about this and that. And I couldn't joke because to other people, it wasn't funny. It was just sad. And it was so nice to be with other people who I could do that with, and also cry with or freak out with at every mention of a new diagnosis or anything else. And so you guys are all here. So you're already doing what my advice would be, but find anyone that you can relate to. It doesn't have to be 5 other people that you fight about Chipotle with. It can be whatever works for you. And even if it's one person you can call in the middle of the night, I say go for it and look for that, even if you have to cross state lines or countries.
No, I can't look at Rachel Flanagan.
Just restate the question, please.
Yes. What's the most powerful thing you have learned about yourself since your child's diagnosis? And what would you like to say to the caregivers sitting in this room? Any words of wisdom, advice, or encouragement you'd like to give?
Yeah, I'm real strong and resilient. And I didn't know how far that would get pushed. But each day, well, I'm still here. So I've woken up each day, we've gotten through each day, and we've survived each day. And well, that's strong enough. The advice that I would give is really going to be the same as you hear from all the speakers this weekend. It's really just to connect. I want you to take pictures with the girl that you think you're going to remember later, because you won't. Take a picture with her, then text it to her so you both have oh, that is Kim on your phone. Because it's real sweet to think like, I'm going to stay connected to all of these people. I went to the woods of Wisconsin. One girl changed from blonde to a red, and I was like, who the hell are you? I'm just saying, do yourself a favor and take a picture together, text it to them, because there's about 10 relationships in this room that I have that changed everything for me and my husband. Don't touch me.
Yes, says the hugger is right.
But it's just because I took a chance. I went on a Zoom. I went to this green mill. I found my way to Edenton. I've done all these different things just by having enough courage. I'm not always outgoing, so I took a chance. I'm a little bit outgoing sometimes.
Just a skosh.
Do you want me to read it again?
Oh.
Or you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, Kimmy's got it.
So not to copy Rachel, but I think one of the things I did learn is also how strong I am, because my daughter was diagnosed at a time when nobody even knew what the word autism meant. I was 22 years old with 2 children that were 5 and 2. And I had a husband who he was my boyfriend at the time, but he worked 3 jobs. And so I had the kids by myself. We had decided to buy a house in the suburbs, which took us away from our family. Of course, we didn't know at the time that she was going to, have autism. And yeah, I think that just that resiliency that you need to have as a mom with a child with a disability. not to say that I don't have times that are hard and that I don't always feel strong, but I always get up, I always dust myself off, and I just look at my daughter and I'll always keep going. I'll always do everything I can for her. I will always try to lay out the best life possible for her where she's going to be happy. So so that's what I've learned about myself. And I feel like, everyone says, oh, you're so strong. How do you do it? And we do it because we love our children. I don't feel like there is a choice for me. And what was the second part? Oh, I remember now. Sorry. I would say for everybody here, like you just love your child, you celebrate your child, and then people will follow suit. I am so proud to talk about my daughter. I'm so proud to show it to the world. The feedback that I've gotten since I've done that is incredible. Like I never thought, honestly, people would care about like an older child. So many people have told me that she inspires them. I would never in a million years think that my daughter would inspire hope. She's still nonverbal. She's still intellectually disabled. She still has severe autism. So for her to be something that people look up to and strive for their child is like, it's very humbling. She is awesome. She's happy. She's sweet. I mean, until she doesn't get her way. She doesn't get away or something. Then she changes a little bit. But yeah, just celebrate your child, love your child, give yourself grace. Like we're just moms at the end of the day. We're not perfect. We're not, it's okay to get, frustrated or not want to do it or not want to be the therapist that day or not want to make the phone calls or whatever it is. We're only human. We can only do so much. I think this life puts a lot on your plate. You just do the best you can. And then you try again next week or next month, But yeah.
Do you want me to repeat the question that way?
Sorry.
Or you got it?
Well, I learned that you can survive on no sleep.
Yeah.
So that's first function. And I think kind of what the lady said, not to, well, I'm so strong, but and like Tabitha said, you're given and you just carry on. I didn't know that these things could be thrown at me with my child and that we would just carry on. I have a slogan I always sign off my page, on we go, because there's no choice. On we go. So that, and for advice, it's just like everyone. I was drowning in isolation. I knew nobody that had a child on the spectrum, and my whole life changed. I went from this very social person. I spoke for a living, and then I found myself very closed off to people. And when I met you all, but in particular these four through Kate's group, it changed my life. So if you have the opportunity to meet someone this weekend, or like Rachel said, really connect, take a picture, find a friend, as cheesy as it sounds, it will change your life. Yeah. Oh, do you need the question repeated? I know we made some Kleenex. Could I please have some?
Who's got some Kleenex? Thank you. Oh. Oh.
By the way, they are not lady products. So
Yeah. Rachel did her best with those. They came out looking like something. Well, I think I thought about this question before I came here, and I think the most powerful thing I've learned about myself, and we went through 2 diagnoses with our son and our daughter, and both were just equally filled with feelings. First time I knew nothing. The second time I knew a lot more, and it felt similar and different. I didn't know, man, I'm gonna cry. Shoot.
We play large.
Yes. I'm a feeler in general. I'm also very private, and it often takes me a long time to open up to people. And I didn't know I could feel so much and so many complicated things at one time until I had my kids. And we went through this diagnosis. Thank you. We went through this diagnosis process twice. And I think what I've learned most about myself is that this life gives you the opportunity to always be changing and moving and shifting. And there are some hard days. And there are also some days where your kids give you the opportunity to pare back your life in a way that I think others do not get to experience. And it hits you just as powerfully and swift and hard as the hard days. So those long, beautiful days where you get to be with your kids for just who they are carry you through those other days that are so hard. So I think that's the most powerful thing I've learned about myself. Words of wisdom, I would say, is don't forget about you. Don't lose yourself in order to take care of your kids and to make it through and to send the 4,000 billion emails and 800 pages of paperwork. There has to be a little piece left for you. I mean, it just has to be. And I think what we've heard this weekend is that, you know, no matter what happens through this process, it takes time to find your way, you know, whether that be a short experience with the feelings or a long one, whatever it looks like for you is how it is for you. And no one should tell you how you should or should not feel about anything. So it's okay if you're angry, and it's okay if you're sad, and it's okay if you're wondering what's going to happen next in the future. So find something where you can feel maybe who you used to be, a little glimpse of that. Because the shedding of the layers, it was very particularly hard for me. And my friends might say that I have a little bit of a problem with control and knowing what's coming next. So autism broke that business right down. We don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. So I would say just keep a little piece for yourself. That's my advice. Yeah.
We were supposed to be the fun.
Yeah. Hey. Fun's coming next. We have a fun game for you. We're done with the question and answer section. And thank you for submitting questions to us.
So we are known for our games without rules or our games without answers because we are a shit show. Sorry for the whistle. On your tables, you're going to find some papers like this that explain if you score first in our Friendly Feud game, you get 10 points. If you get the second answer, you'll get 5 points. Jen Dunn is going to try and keep score. So you might want to, if you're competitive, keep it on your. It's going to be right. So. Correct. We're going to go through some questions that we asked our listeners and the folks of Coop's Troop. We had 109 of you respond to us, which was just awesome. So the Friendly Feud.
Oh, yeah. So there is going to be a first place basket and a second place basket. And we also, for the people that answer the third and fourth questions, we meant to put pads of paper on the table, but we didn't. So just rip up the thing, throw your name in it. And then we're going to do a drawing for some prizes. For some prizes, we have a basket of some small things that you can pick from, which some of those items are actually up in my hotel room, now that I think of it. Okay, so honestly, we really expected like 30 people to come back for us.
So thank you.
So how it's going to work is each table is a team. So just pick somebody from the table that will be in charge of writing the answer and holding up the board. If I can have maybe like one or two people help me, where's that Kate Swenson? Because she saw our answers, so she can't play. And if somebody who's not playing can kind of like maybe help out with the back tables a little bit. And if everyone's ready, we can get started. They say special needs parents are superheroes. If you could pick a superpower to help you navigate this life, which power would you pick?
So come up with your answer as a table, write it on your whiteboard, and when you have it, lift it up high. Josephine's first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
I can't see what that
Red
says.
pen. What does that say, Josephine?
Mind reading? Yeah, okay.
Telepathy.
Let's see. Everybody has the same. Sleeping. Oh, sorry. Survey says mind reading.
Oh, yeah.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. Is that what you meant?
I saw. Did somebody have something other than mind reading? I thought sleeping. Survey says number 2. The name of the series. It's right. The mixtape of us.
Jen, you're keeping score.
All right, Rachel, ready to show the rest of the? Does anyone have any guesses on what the other answers could be?
Teleportation.
So our number one answer is mind reading with 27. Way to go, Josephine's table. Number two, then we have no sleep. Speed and strength. Okay, next. Oh, here's the podcast, listeners. We're recording a podcast for you, listeners. Our number three answer is speed and strength. Our number four answer is patience. Our number five answer is to see the future, while number six is to freeze time and time travel. Yeah. Question number two.
Okay. What is the most telling special needs parent item that you carry?
Whoa! One, two. We have.
Okay. David first.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of your team? Oh, the Women in Me. The iPad survey says number one answer. All right. Headphones.
Survey says number three.
That's number three. All right. Snacks.
So sorry. Next.
Survey says number four. Any other answers? Chewies, fidgets, number two.
All right, our number three question. What is the hardest? Oh, and let me give that job to Kimberly. Hang the frick on. You should have seen your face.
Go ahead, Rachel.
What is the hardest thing that can
we
happen
never
in an
annoy each
autism
other.
house, people? Poop.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna reveal. Meltdown is
Survey
meltdown.
says meltdowns. Number two.
Who's next?
Okay.
Change.
Oh, change. What survey says? I don't think no sleep. Survey says
Gotta find my mouse and it's coming right up.
number three.
Poop is a buzz too, but I just have to say maybe the wrong people voted because
Yeah.
that's freaking terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're still looking for number one. Anyone else have a aggression? Survey says
So our number four answer is self-injury. Our number five
about
answer
autism. I was trying to
is eloping.
and no
And our number
internet
six answer is no internet.
which no internet leads to all the other answers. So
Yes, we do agree with that.
okay, what food is your child guaranteed to eat?
Middle. Here. 1, 2, 3. No, you were watching. First answer.
Goldfish. Survey says
I didn't practice that. Chicken nuggets is the second. Over here.
okay. What's the name of your team?
Oh, the series. I was like, it's a damn chicken nugget. Number two.
Mac and cheese. Survey says
Cheese.
number four.
French fries. Number two. What's next? Back. This is how we do it. Okay, in the back.
Survey says pizza.
Number three.
Number three. So who said mac and cheese? What table said that? So you guys all put your name on a paper and it'll go into a drawing for a raffle prize.
She said drawing.
Yes, I did.
Number five answer was ice cream, and the number six answer is fruit snacks.
It gets real interesting after the first two answers.
Yes. Whoa. Hang on, Hellman. The next question.
What is
The next question was flipped to and not read before everyone answered. So for the podcast listeners, I just want to let you know, the question was, what is the most common reaction or response when you tell someone that your child is autistic?
Everybody says so.
Everybody did.
what's the name
Lots,
of your table?
there's lots and lots of raffle presents.
Okay, we got some more answers, so change them.
Change them. Try me again.
Opposite.
The entire room did. We didn't go first. They were first. Oh, the table in the center said, oh, and that is the number 2. What's your series? Mixtape of Us.
Mixtape of
Number
Us.
2.
No way back. I can't read that.
It doesn't look.
He doesn't. Okay. He doesn't look autistic.
Number 3.
Okay.
The number 4 answer is that must be really hard or some variation. And the 5th is a look of pity or sadness.
Okay, pause. Table in the back that got don't look or seem. Write your names on some papers and we'll do some raffling for you guys. Number 3.
What makes you feel, or what would make you feel most supported by others?
Actual damn support. Okay, I'm not sure who went first, but that made me laugh. Help. We have such low expectations of support that help wasn't even an answer. Of 109 people. I'm sorry, people.
Support. Is this working?
Yeah, it is.
That's another. Support. Do my dishes. That's another strike. But it would be helpful. Phone calls. That's another. This one only has the top 3, so that one also.
Music. Yeah.
Yep, that's another. Respite. Nope. Listening. Survey says. And I'm gonna just give you a hint for the number 2 one. Think of why we're here right now. Friends. So it's. Do you want to click it? Moms who relate and inclusion.
We're going to do a quick hot tally. I want to let you know that if this is your first game with the table for 5, they all go much worse than this. We often, again, don't have answers. We don't have questions. Me and Jamie usually have some screenshots of some shit on Etsy we didn't buy. And this has just slayed for us today. So I'm sorry if you're so competitive that we didn't keep your score properly, but you should have lowered your expectations.
Yeah. And we really want to thank you for participating. It's always been my dream to be on Friendly Feud.
So thank you for making this dream a possibility.
If you go back to the early series, Kim actually states that on our podcast in the beginning.
And Jamie. And this is actually her idea. And I just wouldn't let it go. I'm like, nope, we're going to make it work.
So I just want to give some, while we're
Okay.
waiting for Jamie to come back up, I just want to let everybody know that we've got a couple more things to do. We've got some prizes to raffle off and just a few more things. The one that has a Minnesota bag, well, stand by.
The Woman in Me with how many points?
So this basket has something from each of our states in it and just a bunch of heartfelt things.
And I'm not going to lie, some things might be from the airport.
And some things need a curse whistle. Our second place team is, do you know? Does Tabitha know?
Second place prize goes to This Is How We Do It.
All right, so we want to thank you. We're just about wrapping up, but we want to thank you for joining us for our first live podcast today.
Don't leave yet.
Hopefully, one of many. And also Katie Swenson, can you come up here for a sec? We just want to have a little chat with you, lady. So I just, on behalf of the Table for 5, we want to thank you for everything you've done. We would not, I'm going to cry again. We would not be here if it was not for you sharing Cooper with everyone, the world. You have changed our lives. I know I speak for everyone in this room. We are forever grateful for you. We are thankful to you and for you, my friend. And I believe Kate just had a big birthday. So can we all wish Kate Swenson a happy birthday? Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you for joining us at the table for this episode. Check out the description to find where you can sign up for our newsletter, how to become a supporter, and find links to us individually. Join us next Monday for more, and while you wait, check out our content on Facebook and Instagram. If you are enjoying the podcast, please make sure to subscribe and rate and review us wherever you listen. To contact us, you can email us at tablefor5podcast@gmail.com. We can't wait to sit with you again.